Hello, beautiful people. How are you today? The world is spinning and turning and changing more so than anyone can see. So I'm going to entitle this little talk Secret Wars, because there are a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that people don't know about, that the Freemason, Nazi Jesuit, Illuminati news corporation, they're not going to report on their TV channels that they own and run, because it is the last thing that they are holding on to keep control of the mass general public. Now, I would like to tell you some things about the Secret Wars. First of all, I'd like to address, this is going to be funny, but it's true. I'd like to address the people that so-called, my friends, my associates, the people that have distanced themselves away from me because I started talking and posting about the Jesuits movement and the order, people I grew up with. This is to you. What, you think I didn't know you went to straight Jesuits? You think I didn't know you were one of the main problems back in the day of me growing up as a DJ, talking shit about me? One of our favorite pastimes when our DJ crew would get together would be to ridicule me, or to make fun of me, or to put me down. So these are to those so-called friends that never really had anything positive to say about me, never had anything really cool to say about me, but would always expect me to book them or to look up to them. And you didn't really even help me when I was homeless on the streets. You just turned your back on me, and you were so quick to talk shit about me like you always do. Well, you know who you are. You know who all of you are. And you're a fucking Jesuit. I don't care if you want to call yourself a Christian, you want to call yourself this or that. You are what you are, and what you got your hopes up when you finally had a Jesuit Pope at the head of the Catholic Church for what, 2 days? Shit's ridiculous. So please, don't be mad at me for speaking the truth, for letting the world know what is going on with the Pope, because he's a fucking pedophile, because he's the head of an organization that protects men that rape kids. And you have a problem with me because I have the balls to talk about it. I have the balls to report it. I'm sorry. These are kids and these are men that claim to be with God, and they molest kids. So if you're going to get mad at me, if you're going to remove me from your friend circle, or have your little, DJ organization and not book me because of what I stand for, let me tell you something. Your organization and anything that you have anything to do with, no one is going to have anything to do with you. Karma and truth will come your way really soon. All of you. Anyone that has anything to do with these people, just like the Pope, it is going to be a big disgrace to call yourself a Jesuit, a Freemason, Arab, and a Nazi Jew. All of you, your time is coming because you've hidden in public behind little established organizations that are inside organizations, Freemasons. And you've gotten away with it for a very long time. Now the general public knows, and it's becoming more and more and more, and the so-called conspiracy theorists, the so-called guys that you say, oh, you're so quick to say, oh, where's the proof? Oh, he's crazy. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. Well, since we've been talking about what we've been talking about, everything has come to fruition. Now people are starting to see what this person was talking about 4, 5, 6 years ago. Got locked up, got thrown away, lost all his friends because of the things that he truly believed or she truly believed. Now it's happening, or it's happened. And now people just, don't say nothing. But silently, these people, a lot more people are starting to look up to these people, because these people are becoming the people that are in the niche, more informed. Weren't a Freemason or a fucking Jesuit, doing what they do best. Spread hate and lies. So quick to just say this, don't believe, don't do this, and spread mass rumors that spread like a virus because of who you are, and honestly, who your family is, and what they've done, and what generations of them have done and protected in secrecy. For son, from father to mother to family, all of you. The truth shall be seen, and no one is going to want to have anything to do with you, your family, or your kids, and you're going to be sitting more broke than me. And if you're lucky, you're going to be living on the streets like so many of those innocent people, while you've just sat in your ivory castles and watched the world and watch your organizations take away innocent people's homes and secretly targeted and plotted against them because of who they are, because of what they know, what they stood for, what they did. Because it was standing against you and your companies and your evil organizations. Your time is coming. And you will be very lucky if a bullet doesn't find you. Because at the end of the day, your organization, your people, your family have protected murderers, killers, pedophiles, rapists. And people will see this. So again, this is about the secret war and the organizations that people fail to see the truth about. Understand that the Nazis took in black people. They took in Arabs. They actually treated the Afro-American soldiers better than the United States treated their Afro-American soldiers. The word Aryan in descent is Arab. So that's why you have the rich Arab tycoons with their harems and all of this, just like the Nazis, had many wives and actually spread with their soldiers to they have the right to have sex with as many women as they want and spread their seed. It's where these teachings come from. Also, the Bhagavad Gita swastika and the revamped Nazism from the Bhagavad Gita. It's all intertwined, people. So the secret war that I was exposed to in Romania, because my girlfriend got taken by this cartel that, just takes women and children, and no one ever sees them again. No one ever hears from them again. No one ever finds them, because they have taking women and children down to a science. So this video is about the secret war, about the things that, the general public, your friends, your family, they really don't want anybody to understand or see, because honestly, a lot of them are in on it through generations and generations of passed down secrecy. So then when you get into how many kids, how many women, how many innocent lives have been stolen at a click of a button, at a flick of a finger, at a wave of a hand, it is absolutely countless. Now with the new popes, the one that surrendered or resigned because of so-called accusations and a warrant issued by the people, common law. This is the same common law of people that issued a same warrant for the new pope. So what the old pope actually did and what the TV actually did is they said he just resigned. The new pope just resigned. Well, in actuality, he resigned because of these warrants, because of these people coming forward to talk about what the church has done to many, many, many women and kids, mainly young boys. So now the new pope, after 2 days, he's been found to be guilty of the same charges because he's the head of an organization that actually passed laws in Vatican City to protect men that have their way with kids. This is a fact. Jesuits, Christians, Roman Catholics. This is a fact. So if you're not guilty, if you don't condone what has happened to all of these children, why would your organization pass laws protecting these men from prosecution against freaking pedophilia and what they've actually done to kids from generations and generations? Let me tell you something. The Roman Catholic Church, its hands is filled with blood. Do not forget the Crusades and what they did when they came over to what we know as the Americas, and how many aboriginals and how many innocent people were slaughtered just because they didn't believe in their crucifix. I mean, even just that blood still runs deep. Now, don't get me wrong. I know much about Christ. I know much about Yeshua. But I do not believe in Jesus Christ, because there was no J in pronunciation when that man walked. And I don't call God's son out of his name. Mary, his mother, gave him the name of Yeshua. He was born a Hebrew. He died a Hebrew. In the Bible, it says he had hair of wool, feet of bronze. He died on the cross. And 300 years after Constantine, the Hindu pagan, made the Roman Catholic Church, because he didn't want to lose his power due to the pagan Hindus and many of his people starting to follow the words of the fish. This is history. So if you don't understand the truth of what has actually been going on through generations of hidden secrecy and them keeping us away from our true history and giving you a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus, well, his name was Yeshua Christ. Get it right. It doesn't take a genius or that much studying to figure out the truth and what they've done to us. And understand the difference between the cross and the crucifix. Study it. There were many people in Rome that were crucified when the Romans would come in and take their territory. It was their way of installing fear and control into the public. And then they crucified a man we know as Yeshua. And then his teachings reigned on for 300 years. For 300 years, it took 300 years for the fish's teachings to actually start to bring down the paganism, the Hindu paganism that Rome forced people to believe in and practice. So now you have what is happening in the church with the popes. They're Jesuits. I strongly urge you to understand what happened with the Jesuits. Historically speaking, there was an order called the Knights Templars. They were Freemasons. They were sent to the Middle East to find the Holy Grail. So they went to war with the Arabs, and then finally the Arabs, the Muslims, finally decided that they were sick of warring, to talk to these men, to find out why these men were killing them. So the Arabs told them where the Holy Grail was buried. They dug it up. They found artifacts about Christ that the church didn't want the public to know. So the church left them alone, and with the help of the Arabs and the teachings of the Freemason Arabs, they started the first banks. They started the first currency. So the French kings and queens started to owe them a lot of money when they came to power, because they were the richest and most powerful Freemason organization. And so the French king and queen plotted to overthrow them because it was rumored that they were practicing heresy. That was teachings of Luciferian descent, and they followed the beast. So what the French and kings, or English kings, did is they burned them, and they took whatever it was they had, or their teachings, and it is buried in and kept away in the Vatican vault till today. So then, when you understand the whole history of it, now this is what I learned in France. I put this together because I spent a lot of time in the Bastille and being briefed by French intelligence and French Foreign Legion and a lot of different French people. So when the French did what they did to the Knights Templars, and the story is, you see the Templars sailing off with boats filled with gold. Well, I suspect it was French soldiers that put on Templars uniforms and took their boats, and they sailed it right into the center of France where the Bastille is. And then the Templars' treasure became part of the French secret treasure. And when rumors circulated about this, because during the French Revolution, where the top of the Bastille had been turned into a prison, what if prisoners got into the bottom part of the Bastille, the basement, the keep, because every fort has a keep, and saw the Templars' treasure, and it got out that it wasn't being counted or given to the people, it was just being kept, thus the French Revolution. So historically speaking, when the Nazis came to power, because Hitler and his descendants actually did live in France. Hitler was a Rothschild. His grandfather was a Rothschild. So it was the Nazi Jews that actually put Hitler into power. He was a puppet. He was actually a British-German agent. So then when you really start to get the big picture, did you know the Knights Templars Order was re-resurrected in Bavaria? That's Germany, Bavaria, where Adam Weishaupt started the Bavarian Illuminati. So with Dietrich Eckhart and a lot of his Nazi teachings, they started the New Templars Order, which goes with the New Templars Order of today. And then they started the Jesuit Order. and what they actually did through Freemasonry and secret societies operating just like Freemasons is infiltrate those organizations and take them over. So now what you have is you have the Jesuits that were actually the Templars that actually went in and took control of the Catholic Church. Now you can see what they actually practice, because the popes actually do rape little boys. This should not be anything surprising to anyone, considering the Roman Catholics, when they were Hindu pagans, sleeping with young men and young women was something that they practiced. It was encouraged. Now let me tell you something about Freemasonry and witchcraft. One of the things that they know and they practice. Now one of the things that I want you to understand is them taking a child and sleeping with a child and taking that child's purity and innocence. It gives them a sense of longevity, a sense of not aging. This is something that has been known with these Luciferian witches and these people that actually take kids. And we've read tons of stories about this in our childhood, like Hansel and Gretel. Walt Disney always has their wicked witches going after kids. Walt Disney's a Nazi company. But parents show their kids Disney movies every day. And then when Disney wants to control the adults' minds, they call it touchstone. Now let me tell you about touchstone. Ever heard of a stonemason? Those were the ones that killed all of the Hebrews, the so-called unfit Jews. So what you have in Hitler's occupation, because Hitler was an anti-Nazi Jew, just like the Rothschilds are, the so-called righteous rich Jews running experiments on their own family members, which were the so-called unfit Hebrews. So when you have the whole Nazi movement, it was all propaganda and nothing but lies. The first town Hitler attacked was the town that his grandmother came from, and he burned the library. That is to hide the fact that he was a Rothschild, part of the richest family in the world. So the U.S. government found this out and did research on who he was and where he came from. I will post that video up under this video. And you will understand the heresy and the secrecy that these evil-ass Freemasons have been doing for generations and generations to the general public. Because if you're a black Freemason, if you're an Arab Freemason, if you're a Chinese, Japanese Freemason, at the end of the day, the ones that are controlling your order are these Nazis. Because these Nazis know that they need the race of the people who they want more ignorant, dumb people to follow. So they open their arms wide. Come on in. That's why Beyonce wears a Baphomet ring. That's why Jay-Z sold out with Rockaware. Because he is leading the black public to the beast. And people refuse to see what is going on right in front of their face, in music, in TV, in everything that we see and do. And then when you talk about Nazism, they think that we're talking about a white man, the white order. Well, let me break it down to you. The biggest lie and the biggest myth is there is no white man. There is no black man. Now, if you're an artist, you will know what I'm talking about, because black and white, they're not colors. Technically. Technically, they are shades. So when you address yourself as being black or being white, you are actually saying you are something that technically does not exist. And this is the trick of technology, the trick of the mental labels that they have put on us. February 14 or February 16 was, Juneteenth, the celebration where so-called black people celebrate their freedom. Excuse me, I'm sorry, all you stupid, ignorant, uneducated black people, there was no freedom on June 16th. If you will study the Emancipation Proclamation and study what they actually did to us on June 16th and what you're actually celebrating, to emancipate means to transfer ownership of property to another organization or establishment. This is the definition of to emancipate. So then you proclaim this. So what you actually have is the Nazi government that enslaved our race for generations, proclaiming that they're transferring ownership of you to another establishment, and by you being fooled and thinking that you are free. This is what the Emancipation Proclamation actually technically means. And so you have plenty of people listening to Martin Luther King's speech, I Have a Dream, and him quoting the Emancipation Proclamation, and my people are free. Well, not even he knew the definition of what emancipate means, because if he does, he wouldn't have talked about it like he did. But like him and like me, he had a dream, and a dream you can't kill. So then when you start to understand how they transferred the ownership of my people, my Indian people, my African people, my Haitian people, my Aboriginal people, transferred ownership of us to the Federal Reserve, to the UCC, with our birth certificate, because on your birth certificate, where it should say your mother and it doesn't, it says informant. She's informing the Federal Reserve government, the UCC, that they have another $1 million to trade with in secrecy. If you get your birth certificate and look at it, that low number, the number in the lower right hand corner should be red. That's your stock trading number. This started with the Emancipation Proclamation. This is what they've duped millions and billions of Afro-American people to celebrate in February, which is the shortest month of the year. So for the uneducated black people, they get together and they talk about their black history, their black culture, but they don't even know the truth about what they've done. And this one little subject would have been brought to light in September 15th. That was the day the black reparations lawsuit should have been filed, and it wasn't. The lawyer that actually started this and put this all together, the lawyer that spent 6-7 months in Building 3, that's the Federal Trade Commission, Johnny Cochran and his lawyers, which Johnny Cochran's dead, but they spent time archiving the slave receipts, the slave history, backtracking to see who sold who to who was related to who had sex with who. It is all documented at the FCC because, hey, if you have a birth certificate and they transferred you, which was their property, to another establishment and actually followed track or kept track of you from the day you're born, it's all documented in the FCC. That's the Federal Trade Commission. That is the Trade Police. Well, in 9/11, they blew up this building. It was like, what, 5 blocks away from the Twin Towers? All the investigation, all the backtrack slave receipts, all the proof just poof. Just like millions of innocent Americans on September 12th, which should have been the day that the act would have been filed to impeach Bush. But September 11th happened because this impeachment act was filed on behalf of what his brother did in Florida, another Freemason state, the Disney state. Walt Disney was a Nazi enthusiast. Like I told you, Disney, Touchstone, stonemasons. Well, when you get into what Jeb Bush did, it took him, what, 3-4 days to fix the votes for his Nazi Jesuit brother Bush to duke America because we voted for Gore. And then after his ass was going to get impeached, they killed millions of innocent Americans. And then basically said, shut the fuck up. We going to war. We're going to go after the Arabs that I've been in bed with since the 80s in our Bristow Energies. Yes, our Bristow Energies is Bush's company from Texas, and Osama bin Laden's wife's father was the biggest investor in our Bristow Energies. Tim Osman is Osama bin Laden's cover name for the FBI and the CIA. The CIA agent that found out the coincidences between the CIA, the Bushes, and the bin Ladens, but he didn't know about 9/11. Well, that FBI agent died on 9/11. He quit the FBI and he was given a new job. Guess what that job was? Protecting the Twin Towers. Guess when his first day was? At work. 9/11. It's not a coincidence, it was a hit. To silence the FBI agents and the other FBI agents that knew about the Nazis. That knew about our Bristow Energies and Al-Qaeda, and CIA created Al-Qaeda because the CIA created that organization under the disclosure that they were going to go in and destabilize Saddam Hussein, which they didn't. And they actually just told a lie saying these guys, they lost control of them. And they were the ones that did 9/11. More lies. So now in New York, what is happening is you got New York under martial law, Brooklyn, over the death of one kid. One kid. It's astonishing to me. Brooklyn, they start to march and protest for one death of a black kid. Okay? That's really good, Brooklyn. That's really cool. But what happened to 9/11? What happened to standing up for what you believe? What happened to, I don't know, say all the kids that got raped by all the priests in New York? What about all the Roman Catholic priests and kids that were assaulted? So now just because of one kid, people want to band together and they want to put martial law in New York? This is just the beginning. These Nazi motherfuckers have been looking for a reason to come in and actually send their Nazi police in, because it's a police state, and actually start knocking off people like they did during the Black Panther movement, per se. The Black Panther movement was actually started by people protecting their own people because the police were doing exactly this. Going into Afro-American neighborhoods and killing Afro-American people. So if you can't go to the cops to protect you, who are you going to go to? So this is what's going on in New York right now. The police, New York police, have never protected the people. Look at 9/11. Look at how many firemen came forward. That actually started the war between the police and the firemen. And a lot of the firemen, you know, they started getting trained better than the CIA. These are things that have been going on in secret because even the firemen saw that these fucking Nazis We're taking over America, and stupid, dumbed down Americans that just come home, turn on their bullshit TV, and sit in front of it and get brainwashed and do nothing. This is what they want you to do. Become a dumbed down, brainwashed fool. So I'm going to leave you with this. When the rapture comes, when you're standing before God and God asks you what you did with your time, what did you do with your life, when this and this and this and this was going on, and it didn't take much for you to open your eyes. You just refused to see and follow the dumb and the blind. So I need not lie. So when the rapture comes, you will be judged. You will be judged first by the judgment of self, when you will see yourself in your life and what you did with it. And then when you see yourself coming home so many times and going out to clubs with your friends and drinking and just turning on the TV and seeing things, but you didn't really want to take the mental capacity to put stuff together like this and this and this and this and see something and actually say something or do something. How do you think you're going to be judged in your self-judgment? And then when you get judged by God, and God is going to say, it's like this. Now you see, it's like this. You did nothing. You said nothing. You did nothing. And this was in your power. I gave you this power with your 2 hands and your 2 feet. And you chose to do this and this and this, even though this person was this and this and this. And you treat this person like this and this and this, even though he went or she went through this and this and this, you still refuse to see. The blind will be blind, and the lies will be lies, and the meek will be the meek. And when the beast in its time comes to die, and we shall inherit the earth like it has been foretold, because this is what's happening. I cannot wait till the day when my people of the earth, that's the tan people, the brown people, the yellow people, all my people, the red people, are free. This is the most beautiful time to be alive, but at the same time, I just can't see the things that are unfolding in front of me and how people just cannot see. I was blessed to be part of some big things in France. I'm going to tell you, these secret agents, secret organizations, the secret war is going on right now. I brought plenty of things and plenty of people with me when I came to Texas, because we all know the Nazis got relocated to Texas under Operation Paperclip, and their shit is getting ripped. This has been a long time coming. So for the so-called Nazi hunters, we've been hunting you and we've always known about you, but in a few days you're through. All of you. Anybody that took money, that is down with these organizations, we ain't dummies. The best thing to do is just to sit, watch, and to see who does what, and to get as much information, because you never know where that'll lead, yo. So now you see the possibility of what's going down, Nazis. Not even your time travel or your bullshit ships or your so-called genetically manipulated fucking alien demons can help you out of this. I am Zakaos, Zakaos, a poet, MC, an artist, a singer. Thank you for your time. This is how I expose the secret war. Peace. Fuck you, Nazis. The beast had 1,000 years to reign in God's church, and the truth hurts. Now you see what all your lies and all your deception is worth. All of those innocents slain have a voice. They're angels that protect us. They're always around us, waiting for one of us to speak and wait to see the look on your face, because you understand that you're about to get erased. This is your fate. There ain't nothing you can do. We ain't fools through and through. Poetically and harmonically, I'm gifted and uplifted, filled with the Spirit, and now you know it, and now you're gonna hear it. So from France to Romania to Houston, Texas, we've been hunting you down like this because we're the best. Never needed a bulletproof chest, never needed anything, because I never feared any fucking Nazi that worships the beast. I'll walk up to you and say, fuck you. Where's your fucking feast? Go home so we can follow you and take out the rest of your fucking homies. This is the truth. Welcome to the secret war. Bless the children of the light as heaven's door opens. Now you feel its might. Peace.